Shoulders are an area of difficulty for a lot of trans women. And so if you want to minimize the look of the shoulder width, for example, here are 4 styles that might be of help to you. I hope you appreciate it. I'm not saying that this is what you should do or shouldn't do, but if you have these areas of concern, here are some approaches that might be of help. The woman at the left is wearing what's called a raglan sleeve. Raglan sleeve design will help to minimize the fullness of the shoulder. The same thing happens with the person who's wearing a dropped shoulder look. Now, as opposed to a set-in sleeve, the shirt at the right has a dropped shoulder, and that can actually conceal the shoulder width. In these 2 pictures, you have a woman at the left who's wearing a peasant blouse. She could have very large, broad shoulders, but you're not going to know where they are wearing this type of design. Now, it may not be appropriate in a workplace setting, but it might be lovely in other settings. The Miss Universe at the right, she has large, broad shoulders, but she's camouflaging them by using a capped sleeve design, which again draws your eye up to her eyes, and again, enhanced by that banner as well. Now, when I was working on my book that was entitled A Practical Guide for Trans and Gender Nonconforming Individuals, I consulted with the personal shopper at Nordstrom, Amy White. And Amy suggested that for women who are trying to maximize their own figure qualifications or whatever, that there were 3 skirt designs that she often recommended for clients. One was the fit and flare design, which you can see at the left. The middle is an A-line skirt, and at the right, you have a skater skirt. Now, for many women, especially women who were born male, you may not have a prominent butt. In fact, you may have kind of a flat butt, which is something that you may want to work with. So in any event, each of these designs will help to camouflage a flat butt, for example, if this is the look that you're trying to achieve. Next, I want to show you something that's called the fit and flare design. Now, this woman is probably fairly flat in most of her dimensions, but the dress that's fit under the breasts and then flares out over the waist and the hips kind of gives the illusion of a larger butt or larger hips. So will the skater skirt, flared skirt, or full or A-line skirt. Here are a couple of examples. The woman at the left is wearing a skirt design that you have no idea where her butt would be, but so you kind of imagine where it might be. So it's a good camouflage tip if you really weren't born with a butt at all. You cannot see whether it's small or large. Same thing with the woman at the right who's wearing the tiered design. If you don't have a waist and you want one, you can create the illusion of having a waist with one of these styles. The woman at the right is shown in an empire or empire waist, which is just underneath the bra or the bra line, but then the skirt flares out so that you really don't know where the waist is at all. Again, with the fit and flare design and with the subtlety of the waist at the right, you really can't see it, so you imagine it. If you have a cardigan sweater, you can't see where the waistline really is, so your brain creates one. So each of these women in wearing a cardigan actually can sort of create the illusion of a waist if this is something that she wants to do. Use common sense when it comes to skirt lengths in the workplace. Now you can see that each of these women is wearing what's called a pencil skirt, and it's true that these pencil skirts are probably short enough that they would be able to run